some of you have already seen it. Today debuted Ipsy's latest video. That's actually, the voiceovers are done by the very capable Olga and my son Joshua, and it's entitled "We Stand With You Now." But those of you on IG, if you looked on the post, both mine as well as Institute for Black Solidarity with Israel, it's already pinned to the wall. It's less than 2 minutes, but it is our declaration, not just as an organization, but there are many Black Americans and Africans, particularly in Africa, who stand with you as well. So we weren't being arrogant so much to speak for them. What we are saying to you is that we know that there are many, many Black Americans and Black South Africans who are completely appalled at what's going on the campuses, completely appalled at the level of Jew hatred. Most of them Christians who love Israel, who love God, the God of Israel, and who also know history. They know that when a society delves and devolves into this type of hatred, no one is safe, right? This becomes a situation. It'll start with the Jews, but it'll go. And again, in terms of our history as Black Americans, history as Black South Africans, we already know what systemic racism, hatred, killing is, all of those things, for being something else that the others don't believe you're lesser than. Once you become lesser than in a society, like Pharaoh decided that the Hebrews were less than, right? So he just began to deal with them in a very evil way. So society has let us know over a period of time that it's never a good thing. So without further ado, Miss Producer, let's go ahead and let's load that up. And again, if you haven't seen it already, I do want to say, and I'll say this again, please go to our YouTube page, like and subscribe. It's there, but it's on all our social media now. But let's go ahead and take a look at it, Marie.
When the world saw the reality of Jim Crow segregation and violence, it could not look away.
And when the world saw the reality of South African apartheid, it could no longer deny the evil.
Today, it's the Jewish people who are being attacked, harassed, beaten, and even killed.
Those who attempt to justify this Jew hatred point to lies about Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza.
Those who attacked Black South Africans and Black Americans attempted to justify their actions as well.
There is no justification for ethnic hatred. There is no justification for anti-Semitism.
Black people have seen all of this before.
And when our friends were few,
the Jewish community stood with us.
Stood with us.
And we stand with them now.
And we stand with them now.
The video is about 1 minute and 57 seconds, and it was brief on purpose. We wanted to convey a specific sentiment, but not prolong it. Right, Olga, that B-roll on there with the last part, the two of them, Dr. King standing with the rabbis, right, and then Nelson Mandela standing with rabbi, right? It's like here you had on different continents, right? Separated by 30 years. Dr. King's picture was 1968. Nelson Mandela's video was 1994, right? But these Black leaders of their people emerged standing right there with Jews saying, hey, thank you, right? We y'all didn't have to. We appreciate it. We got your back. You had our back and everything. Olga, when you saw that, or when you see that, what's your feeling when you're seeing Nelson Mandela standing with the rabbi, standing with the Jewish community like that?
It's a part of my heritage as well as my history as a South African that many people aren't familiar with. And so it not only gives me great pride, but it also reminds me of the responsibility that I have and the responsibility that Ipsy carries to educate and tell people the fact that the Jews helped us, and just as they helped us in our history, we have a responsibility not just to, and I say this respectfully, not just to make the statement that we stand with the Jews, but to actually do something about it. Oftentimes, when we hear about former President Nelson Mandela, we hear about him saying that the South African struggle is not complete until the struggle of the Palestinians is. And we hear about how his name and how his standing has been immortalized in Ramallah and various other places, and how people have taken his history and really perverted it so that it seems as if he was anti-Jewish and anti-Zionist, but he was not. He was not. And so there is a responsibility on us to continue to educate and tell the truth. And I also hope that for our Jewish brothers and sisters, that they are encouraged that this is the truth. These are the facts. And that when they look around and say, who are our friends, that they know that we are there for them.
Those of you have seen the video, you also may be aware about a year ago, Olga narrated a video called Black South African Voices for Israel, where she explains about Nelson Mandela's own words, where the Jewish people were concerned, as well as other noted prominent Black South Africans, right? So that people understand, as she said, understand the history in context, right? Because there's been a lot of lies, and Olga, like we know, not a lot of lies where Israel and Jewish people are concerned, lies that exploit our community, right? By no other people, history has been used more. Israel, apartheid state, lie. Israel's a racism, Zionism, racism, lie. Zionism's Jim Crow, lie. But not just lies that come at our people, right? So was one of the reasons why we made the video, for Jew haters and Israel haters then to take our history, right, and try to flip it around, not to mention the fact that where are Black folks enslaved and suffering genocide? At the hands of the very people like Hamas that are trying to destroy Israel, right? So if you're a Black, you stand with Israel. Are you kidding me?
And it's not even at the time that Hamas was harming us, or the ideology in relation to Hamas and ISIS. It's like today, this very, very day, as we're speaking today, it's happening. So we're supposed to, as Black people, one, take our history or accept that our history is being perverted, and then two, use that history and march against the very people that helped us and are helping us today, and then also support the very people that are not just harming us in terms of words, but are literally killing our brothers and our sisters. Nigerians, Christian Nigerians are being slaughtered every day, kidnapped every day. I was doing research yesterday about Mozambique. In Mozambique, there's a jihadist insurgents, which the world is not talking about. They don't want to, because it doesn't suit the narrative.